Hey guys, Chris Dorry here. Today I thought I'd go through how you can watch junior football online and some of the ways you can catch the action from all across the country, both inclusive of the junior competitions and the state leagues. So if that interests you, watch on. So what I'll do firstly, I'll cover the VFL, then I'll get onto the SANFL, the WAFL, and then I'll revert back to the NAB League, because the NAB League is a bit sort of different, I suppose, in how you can access the games online. So firstly, for the VFL, so you've got the VFL YouTube, VFL and VFLW for those VFLW fans as well. So you get games streamed here, not all of them, but you do get a collection. So you might get one or two a week here. So you've got that. You've got Seven's VFL website. So here it looks like they'll have about one a week going. So you've got that opportunity. And then you've got KO. So good service, get behind it for those that are interested there. It's just a way to access, I guess, all the AFL games, but you've also got the bonus here as well where you've got VFL matches. So here it looks like for round 4, you've got 4 matches. So if you're a hardcore VFL fan and you really want to catch a lot of VFL action, maybe see a few mature ages out playing, or maybe you want to see your reserves team for your team if you're a Victorian fan, or maybe a fan of one of the northern teams, then potentially you might be interested in this service also. Fox Footy, it looks like they also have some VFL games. I'm not a subscriber of Fox Footy, but I believe they might have one a week. So between these various options, not all VFL games are streamed or available to watch online, but look, there's enough there where you can follow the VFL pretty well, and you can probably watch around half of the games per round roughly. So if not, probably a little bit more. So look, that's something pretty reasonable there. But in terms of a comprehensive service, we've got the SANFL Digital Pass. So for $50 a year, you can subscribe, and here you can see you've got the Men's League access, reserves, under 18s, under 16s, and the Women's League. So and you get really the whole season worth of games, every game, nothing missing. What I can respect about this service is that the ads aren't obtrusive at all. Where if there's an ad, let's say a goal is kicked, just in around the bottom corner of the right-hand side, so around the sort of, you could call it the bottom, so bottom quarter, you could say, so doesn't take up too much of the screen. You'll have the ad going, but you'll also see in the other 3 quarters of the screen, the game's still going, commentary still going. So it's really a unique way to show ads during a footy game, but I actually quite like it, and I prefer it to a lot of the TV telecasts. So that's something I can commend the SANFL on doing. And look, it's a comprehensive coverage. You've got commentary on the games. So or at least the games I've seen so far. So it's definitely a pretty decent service. So any game, every round, you can review the games. You don't have to watch them live. So and it's the same with these other services that I've been through as well. You shouldn't have to see them live. Fox Footy, I've never been a subscriber to be able to talk about, but certainly for KO, you can go back, watch it. 7 AFL, you can. YouTube, obviously, you can. So it's good having those options, and any service where you can play back the games, and it is really good. And with the SANFL covering every game, every league, I'm a fan, relatively speaking. So just in terms of how they've structured the service, where if you're going to pay for something, you want really something comprehensive. So and you can also do a week pass, which you'd have to check the fees online for what that is, and also a team pass, where if you're a fan of a particular team, you can also buy that. So in terms of the options and how they set up their plans, I've got some respect for how the SANFL do that. For those that don't want to subscribe, or you've also got Seven's replay service for SANFL games. So again, you've got some here. So look, better than nothing. So you might be getting one a week there. And then you've got for the WAFL next. So the Western Australian Footy League. So again, you've got roughly sort of one a week, one every second week. So you get some games there. So that's something. You've also got the Front Row Screens site, so on YouTube. So they also stream some games from the WAFL. So that's something else to get subscribed to if you haven't already, because their service is pretty reasonable there. just being free. So anything free, I'm on board. Count me in. And then you've also got the West. So the West, would I recommend the service? It's up to you. So to give a bit of information there, you need to sign up for a minimum of 28 days, and it's $1 per day to subscribe to their service. So really, unless you're a newspaper subscriber, you want to read their content, it's probably not worthwhile. And I'm not really reading any of their content. I just want to see a few WAFL games. But if you want to rewatch any of the games, so they do have replay features and there's no ads, so there's some of the positives. And for WAFL League, you'll get one a week. You've also got with the WAFL Colts, the under-18s, you've got, again, one a week. So, look, you've at least got that, but it's not comprehensive like the SandFL service. So, if you were just to get behind any one of the leagues, for me, it would be the SandFL. But with the West publication, well, if you want to read a lot of, I guess, WAFL sort of content, you've got AFL content on there too. You've got general news content. So if you're into those sort of paywall subscriber stuff, then absolutely go for it. But I would personally be more inclined to subscribe to this sort of service if you could just sign up one day at a time, just binge watch games, end the account. I didn't really like having to be able, or having been required on this sort of service to actually email the Western Australian directly to say, I want to cancel my service after this date. And I was hoping they'd be able to cancel it a lot sooner than 28 days. So make sure you read the terms and conditions, and be aware if you're going to sign up to this service that you will be paying a minimum of 28 days worth, so $28. So for your awareness there. In terms of the NAB League, so there is no computerized way of watching it. I find, obviously, if you're watching on a smartphone, well, it's a small screen. It's a pretty terrible watching experience. If you've got a tablet, well, you could watch it on that. But what I've had to do to be able to actually watch it on a computer, or a reasonable size screen for that matter, is actually use an emulator. So in my case as an Android user, well, I've used the BlueStacks emulator. And then from here, you just go into My Games, you download the app, and I've downloaded the NAB League app. So to watch the games, you have to use the app. I've found the app to be pretty dodgy. One week I was pumped to watch the Oakley-Sandy game, and that didn't happen. I find the app often closes on me, so you've got a lot of those things. But the annoying things with this app is that you can't replay any of the matches, to my knowledge. There's no stats or no anything, and it just really crashes quite often. So I'd advise you not to rely too heavily on the app, because it's frankly pretty dodgy and not well constructed. Previously, we had NAB League games on YouTube where every game was up every week, so that was fantastic. At least with this NAB League app, look, at least you can watch every game, assuming the stream works. Sometimes it doesn't. There's been another game where at halftime, or at probably to tune in for the second quarter, maybe I got on, but the first quarter wasn't working at all. So you do have to deal with that dodginess. But if you can put up with that, look, at least you do have all the games streamed live. But again, no replays, that sucks. So you just have to put up with what is, compared to what we've had in the past, at least a subpar service. But again, at least you've got NAB League games. Of course, that's where most of the talent gets drafted from every year, so it is worth tuning into. So you do have that option. So you could use BlueStacks, or you could use another emulator if you're desperate like me to watch on a computer NAB League action, if you can't make it along to a particular game for whatever reason. So, and I should also mention in closing the Under-18 Championships. So we do see some games from the Under-18 Championships on Foxtel or Fox Footy, but it's pretty minimal. So they only do so many games. So it might be 4 or so a year you might get on there. So it's not a lot that they bother to stream. So, or to show on their service. So, but you do find that some of the games also happen to appear on YouTube, so some of the non-televised games. So sometimes you might just get lucky and find one on there, which I have in the past as well. So yeah, that's a bit of insight into where you can get your junior footy fix and watch the state leagues and keep track of all the action, all the draft relevant talent out there. And yeah, I guess that's one step closer to being a recruiter. So Yeah, so that's if I can't get to a game, and obviously I can't get to the interstate games. So this is how I take in a lot of footy, and yeah, I really sort of, I guess, lean on these services. So, and with the NAB League bye sort of in place for another few weeks, well, it's been a really good opportunity to catch up on SANFL action, watch a bit of WAFL. The West service I won't be subscribing to again until they improve on their terms and conditions and allow you to subscribe one day at a time. Just like if you were buying a newspaper, you could buy one newspaper at a time, but it should be pretty easy for them to do. But yeah, but look, the SandFL service I'll definitely subscribe to again in the future. But for WAFL, I'll just go with the free services. And for VFL, I'm enjoying the free services, though you've also got KO. So if you're a KO subscriber, and KO is definitely worth subscribing to, get behind that. So yeah, there's lots to get behind, obviously. Download the NAB League app if you want to watch any NAB League games. It's sad it's not all on YouTube. You shouldn't really need an app. Hopefully in the future we can get rid of the NAB League app and just see all the action on YouTube, so you can actually watch the games back. Because ultimately, if you're at one game and you want to watch another game that's on at the same time, well, you can't. So that's one of the drawbacks this year, and a real frustration for me, because with the Victorian players, well, I didn't get to see them this last year. They didn't get to play at all. So just with all the COVID lockdowns. So it's really a shame that I don't have that capacity to go back and watch over these games. And with some of the, I guess, NAB League games not showing or not showing up during the whole game or for parts of the game, I've found that frustrating when I have chosen to tune in through the apps. So yeah, hopefully those things get fixed up. But anyway, hopefully this was a good guide and a good feel as to what services are out there to get behind or get onto or subscribe to. And yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. And yeah, if you liked this video, give it a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future updates. And if there's any services I've missed, well, feel free to include them in the description below. I'd be interested, and I'm sure others would be, if there's any further, I guess, opportunities to watch more footy and across more competitions online. That'd be fantastic. Some that I haven't drawn upon. So I believe with the TSL, they've got a YouTube channel, so get behind that. I can add that in the description below as well. And also the NEAFL, when that was a competition. Now it's sort of merged with the VFL, and you've got the teams playing in Victoria against Victorian teams. But yeah, previously the NEAFL YouTube, that was absolutely fantastic. We had all the games on the NEAFL YouTube channel, and I'd watch through those during the week, and it was just a great opportunity to see a lot of the Queensland and New South Wales talent. And I found that was probably underutilized by a lot of people over the years, but for me, that was just the most fantastic service. And I'd love in the future for more of the state league competitions or under 18 competitions to really follow that lead and put more of their games on YouTube just for the general public to watch. Because ultimately, the more exposure for more players, I feel the better, and the more discussion that can be had amongst the community, which is ultimately what I'm here for and what I enjoy. So yeah, anyway, guys, see you in the next video.